Have you ever walked through a cemetery and noticed a woman with multiple last names on the headstone? She may have even listed different husbands on her headstone. What looks like a mystery is often a trail left behind by an old property law that shaped entire generations of American families. It's called the widow's third. For most of early American history, a married woman could not legally own property in her own name. Everything belonged to her husband, which meant that when he died, her survival depended on the law stepping in to protect her. That protection was the widow's third. If a husband died without a will, the law guaranteed his widow 1/3 of all his lands for the rest of her life, and 1/3 of his personal property outright. This rule came from English common law and followed colonists to New England and South, eventually to the Midwest. So even if a family farm was 200 acres, the widow was legally entitled to use a full third of it until she died. She could live in the home, plant crops, rent out fields, or collect profits. It was her safety net in a world where she had almost no legal independence. But that 1/3 came with limits. She could not sell the land, she could not leave it to her children in a will, and she often lost certain rights if she remarried. Some wills even said a widow could stay in the home only during her widowhood. If she took a new husband, the land reverted to the children. Because of that, widows faced a hard choice: remain single and keep control of the property, or remarry and hand that control over to a new husband. On the frontier, survival usually decided for them. Running a farm alone was nearly impossible, especially with young children. Many widows remarried not for romance, but because their families needed labor, protection, and income. There are records of widows marrying a neighbor to save the farm, or marrying their late husband's brother to keep the land within the family. In other cases, a wealthy widow stayed single for decades to keep her legal rights intact. This is where it gets fascinating for anyone doing cemetery work or genealogy. The widow's third explains why you might see a woman buried under her final married name, but early census records list her under a previous name. A stone that calls her the relic of John, meaning she never remarried. A headstone with her name from the first marriage, but an actual burial with the second husband. Even land deeds give clues. If a man sold property in the 1800s and his wife did not sign the deed, it often meant she had died before the sale because her signature was required to release her future dower rights. Understanding the widow's third helps solve genealogical puzzles. It explains sudden name changes, unexpected remarriages, missing women in later census records, or why a mother does not appear on land documents. Women's identities were tied to marriages not just socially, but economically. Until the next stone. Thanks for watching.